9 programmers mocked a delivery girl, but her incredible truth exposed them all, a touching, life-changing moment. Mia sped through the bustling streets of Silicon Valley, her heart racing with every pedal pump of her trusty bicycle. The sun danced on the buildings, creating a kaleidoscope of reflections, while her bright yellow delivery uniform popped against the muted grays and blues of the tech elite. She delivered lunches to the world's brightest minds, each order a small act of resistance against the tide of elitism that surrounded her. Beneath the surface, however, her heart bore the weight of a heavy loss. Just months ago, she lost her father, and now she was all that stood between her family and financial ruin. As she zipped past sleek Teslas and towering glass offices, Mia's thoughts meandered to a future she yearned for, a future coded in lines of programming language, where her dreams morphed into reality. Each delivery wasn't just about meals, they were small lifelines, tying back to her goals and aspirations, delivering more than food, delivering hope. But at one particular tech office, she overheard the familiar laughter that bristled her resolve. "Look, the delivery girl thinks she can be a programmer," one of the 9 arrogant developers called out, crude hilarity erupting from the group. "Stick to your deliveries, sweetheart." Their words twisted like knives, reminding her of the countless nights she spent hunched over her laptop, teaching herself to code with determination, sparked by her father's encouragement. Did they even care about the struggles she faced, the dreams she'd nurtured amid the chaos of her life? Today, however, a storm was brewing in that very office. A catastrophic software glitch had sent the team into a frenzy just days before launch. Panic clawed at their faces as they rushed from one computer to another, but their supposed tech prowess crumbled. Tension electrified the air, and the mocking laughter turned into desperate murmurs. Feeling a surge of courage, Mia stepped forward, despite the weight of their disbelieving stares. "I might be just a delivery girl, but I have an idea that could save this project," she said, her voice steady, pulse pounding in her chest. The room stilled, anticipation weaving through them like a tightrope. "Seriously?" one programmer scoffed. "What would you know about software?" Yet the urgency in her heart urged her on. "I've been coding in my spare time. Hear me out." Her stomach churned, battling resentment and determination as she fought against their privilege, determination swirling in her chest like a wildfire. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. With every word that Mia spoke, she saw the micro-expressions shifting among the developers: doubt, intrigue, then a flicker of acknowledgement. Could she reach them? This was her moment, a chance to blur the lines that confined them all, the hierarchies of privilege and identity threatening to divide. Mia painted her vision, her excitement unfurling with each passing second, igniting the room's atmosphere. As she pushed further, the room spiraled into silence, breaths held, the air thick with tension. Would they see her struggle as strength? Would they finally recognize that beneath the delivery uniform was unyielding talent and resilience? Time ticked by, and with it, the potential for everything to shift hung in the balance. Would they grasp her outstretched hand, or would her dream slip through their fingers like the takeout orders she had delivered so many times before? As uncertainty loomed, the hardest question lingered: could this be the turning point to transform a delivery girl into something more? As Mia stood before the developers, the weight of their skepticism pressed heavily on her. She could feel the collective doubt in the room. She glanced around, taking in the uncomfortable fidgeting, and exchanged glances among the 9 programmers. They were a mixture of panic and arrogance, and in this moment, she wanted to dissolve that barrier. "I know your software like I know much about the city," she continued, her voice steady but laced with urgency. "You have a problem because you're too focused on fixing it instead of looking outside the box. Sometimes, fresh eyes can spot things you've overlooked. The silence buzzed, her words hitting them like fateful raindrops on thirsty ground. One by one, she saw the shifts in their expressions. Shadows of disbelief began to give way to curiosity. Maybe it was desperation that opened their minds, or maybe it was her unwavering passion. Just give me a minute. Let me show you what I can do. The lead programmer, a man named Derek, crossed his arms, skepticism plastered on his face, and asked, "You really think you can help? You probably don't even understand the gravity of this glitch." His tone dripped with condescension, but Mia knew better than to back down. "I may not have a flashy degree, but coding is my sanctuary. I understand more than you think. Let me prove it." With those words, she stepped to the nearest computer and logged in, feeling the energy pulse from her fingertips as they hovered over the keyboard. The atmosphere shifted in the room, it became alive, electric. She typed with a rapid rhythm, lines of code dancing across the screen, unraveling the layers of the problem before her. Each stroke was filled with a fervor, her hope flowing into every command. Mia felt all those late nights grinding away at her father's dream surge through her. This was about more than just fixing a program. It was a chance to validate herself. Slowly, the programmers gathered around her, eyes narrowing in concentration, disbelief melting away into fascination. She could feel their curiosity morphing into something greater, a willingness to acknowledge her passion and skill. "There!" Mia exclaimed, pointing at the screen where her changes lit up like fireworks. "Try running it now." Derek hesitated, then, urged on by the others, initiated the code. A moment of silence enveloped them, everyone holding their breath. When the program executed flawlessly, a wave of relief washed over the office. The chatter of panic faded into cheers as they turned to Mia, their expressions a mix of gratitude and astonishment. She felt her chest swell with pride, finally feeling seen for who she truly was. The once mocking programmers now had a different attitude. Heads leaned in closer, conversations shifting from dismissals to acknowledgement of the value she could bring. Before she could bask in the moment, however, Derek broke the silence with a flood of words. You really saved us. How did you know how to do this?" His gaze was no longer condescending. Instead, it was curious, genuine. With a bittersweet smile, she replied, "You'd be surprised what you can learn when your life depends on it." The air around them grew thick with shared understanding, a chasm finally bridged, but as the excitement began to settle, Mia's thoughts raced. Could this moment lead to something even greater? What if she could be more than just a delivery girl? The team's newfound respect for her opened doors she never imagined possible. "Listen, Mia," Derek said, pulling her aside. "There's more than just lunch orders you could be doing. Have you ever thought about applying for an internship with us?" Her heart skipped a beat. An internship? The mere thought sent adrenaline coursing through her. But questions flooded her mind. Was she ready? Did they believe in her enough to take that leap? As optimism ignited in her chest, confusion tangled with hope. Would she take the plunge into a world meant for her? Would she finally claim the future she had fought for? The drive within her simmered, begging for answers. And just as she began to ponder, the sharp vice of reality gripped her heart again. What if this was all just a fleeting moment? Could she hold on to this opportunity, or would it slip away like the laughter that once echoed off the office walls? The unanswered questions clung to her, the stakes higher than ever, stirring an urgency within that demanded resolution. Yet, as she looked into the eyes of her newfound allies, she couldn't shake the feeling that perhaps her story was just beginning. Would she embrace it and define who she was meant to be? Mia's heart raced in a new rhythm, a blend of fear and exhilaration. She watched Derek as he leaned closer, examining her face in search of sincerity and strength. The others milled around, their chatter fading to a low hum, excitement threading through the office like a warm breeze. "An internship could change everything," Derek continued, his voice steady but tinged with uncertainty. "But it's not just about jumping in, it's about commitment. Are you ready for that?" There it was, the question that hung in the air like a weight, pressing down on her. Commit? It felt monumental. Yet, beneath the layers of apprehension, something fierce stirred inside her. She had waited so long for a chance, and here it was. She could almost see the horizon glowing, a pathway leading to a new version of herself. "I want to be more than my past," she said, her voice firmer than she felt. "This is my chance to step up, to be who I have always wanted to be." Derek's expression softened, and for the first time, she glimpsed understanding in his eyes. "That's the spirit. But you must know it'll be challenging. Late nights. Lots of code. It's unpredictable." Mia nodded, feeling the warmth of determination course through her veins. "I'm in." "Yes." The excitement in the room surged again. The programmers broke into small groups, discussing projects and possibilities. Suddenly, she wasn't just a delivery girl. She was a participant in their world, a vital player in a game she was finally learning to navigate. As the team rallied around new plans, Mia felt her confidence soaring. This connection felt profound, even as a knot of anxiety twisted in her stomach. She didn't know the first thing about office culture or navigating corporate dynamics, but she couldn't let that hold her back. The following days sped by in a whirlwind. Mia threw herself into learning, studying code, asking questions that often made her feel like a rookie among veterans. But every meeting felt like a stepping stone, and everyone began to share their insights without the guarded walls they once carried. One afternoon, as she skimmed through user feedback documents, she found herself daydreaming, imagining how this opportunity might change her life. No longer just fixing bugs or running orders, but maybe even leading projects one day. The thought sent a thrill through her. She wanted it. She wanted it so badly, yet, beneath the thrill lurked shadows of self-doubt. Would they still embrace her when the dust settled and the challenges grew daunting? Would she become an outsider again if she stumbled? One evening, she shared her fears over coffee with one of the programmers named Lucy. "What if they realize I don't belong? What if I fail?" Lucy smiled softly, leaning in. "Listen, Mia. Everyone here has felt that way at some point. You've already proven to yourself and to them that you have what it takes. Just keep moving forward. Lean on us." Her words resonated, wrapping Mia in a cloak of reassurance. But still, questions haunted her late at night as she lay staring at the ceiling. Was she enough? Deep down, she ached for affirmation every time she sat down to code. Weeks rolled on and every accomplishment brought bursts of pride, but they also heightened her fears. What happened when the excitement fizzled? Would a mistake redefine her? As she sat at her desk one afternoon, a new issue arose in the code, a flaw even the seasoned programmers couldn't tackle. They murmured in the background, the tension palpable. Mia felt that familiar urge rising within her, that electric hum nudging her forward. The room quieted as she faced the screen, her fingers itching to type a solution. This was her moment to show them once again just what she could do, only it also felt like a test of more than skills. It felt like the moment she had to prove to herself she was worthy of this space, the moment where everything had to count. With a deep breath, she pulled herself together, ready to dive back into the excitement and uncertainty. Yes, she could do this. But was she brave enough to see how far she could go? The decision hummed around her, and as the words ready to flow, she couldn't shake the feeling that whatever happened next would lock her fate in this world she had fought so hard to belong to. Would she succeed? Or would doubt force her back into the shadows? The screen glowed before Mia, a blend of code and numbers dancing like a puzzle waiting to be solved. The others had found solace in their usual murmuring, but all she could hear was the rush of her pulse. The challenge loomed, and as she stared into the unresolved lines of code, fear intertwined with a fierce ambition. "What if I'm not ready?" she whispered to herself. The question loomed larger than the flaws she needed to fix. She pushed it aside. This wasn't just about proving herself to Derek, or even to the team that had slowly started to embrace her. It was about proving it to herself. Taking a steadying breath, she started typing. The first few lines flowed easily, but as she dug deeper, the code seemed to twist painfully. Translating these complicated issues into understandable language felt like swimming against a riptide. Each keystroke echoed in her ears. The soft tricks of encouragement faltered into quiet as Derek stepped closer, the tension thick in the air. "What do you see?" he asked, his voice low. The team leaned forward, anticipation crackling like a live wire. I think I can isolate the problem," she responded, forcing the tremor from her voice. "There's a data conflict here. If we adjust the algorithm, we might streamline the process." With every word, the hopeful glimmer brightened in her chest. She tapped furiously, nerves dissipating into focus. Around her, a strange silence held, and the murmurs faded into the background. The once chaotic office transformed into a sanctum of possibility, and she became part of something larger, a group of innovators. As Mia laid out her thought process, the programmers began to nod, their confidence in her blossoming like summer blooms. She could sense their shifting regard, the undercurrent of acceptance. It was intoxicating, and with every passing moment, Mia felt herself morphing into someone entirely remarkable. There was still a flame of doubt distantly flickering. What if her adjustment didn't work? But she pushed it down, letting the determination rise. After all, they acknowledged her audacity. She had a voice in this space. "All right, let's implement it," Derek declared, his eyes fixed on her, a glint of something proud sparking there. The others shifted into action, and Mia upgraded the code with newfound confidence. As they tested the new line, anticipation clasped the room in a tight embrace. Would it work? A glimmer of hope flickered within her. The moment felt explosive, the different energies converging into one singular heartbeat, a heartbeat she felt matched her own. She held her breath as they pressed run. For a heartbeat, the world seemed to suspend. Then, the screen flashed green, signaling success. The team erupted in cheers, and Mia's heart soared. They hugged her, clapping her back, voices overlapping in exuberance. "You nailed it!" Lucy exclaimed, her face gleaming with pride. Mia couldn't help but smile, warmth blooming in her chest. The knot of uncertainty loosened as she absorbed their acceptance, but as she basked in that victorious moment, a little voice in her head resurfaced. What would it all mean tomorrow? Would her triumph give way to new challenges? The excitement began to ebb, and something more profound sparked within. "Hey, let's celebrate this victory," Derek suggested, laughter ringing in the air. It was an invitation, a beacon calling her to embrace this moment fully, yet vulnerability whispered loudly in her ear. Could she truly belong here? As they gathered their belongings and shared edges of dreams and aspirations, Mia wondered jealously if this sense of camaraderie would last. Did she have what it took to hold on to this? What would happen when tough times hit again? In that swirl of triumph and lingering uncertainty, she realized the question wasn't just about surviving the challenges. It was about thriving even when the waves crashed. Would she be brave enough to face the next storm, to challenge herself not just to fit in but to carve her own place? As they exited the office, excitement bubbling like a soda pop, she felt alive, the world ripe with opportunity. But deep down, shadows of doubt still lingered, begging for resolution. What would happen if tomorrow brought an even tougher challenge? Would she find the strength to rise again, or would she slip back into the shadows? The question echoed in her mind, just as their laughter fell away into the twilight, teasing her with the sweet promise of what lay ahead. As Mia stepped out into the cool night air, the city lights twinkled like hopeful stars against the dark canvas of the sky. She could still hear her team's joyous shouts ringing in her ears, an anthem of acceptance that she had longed for. The knot in her stomach was loosening, replaced by a lightness that made her feel almost weightless. "Did you see the way they looked at you?" Lucy exclaimed, her excitement palpable in the atmosphere. She was practically glowing. "You totally saved the project." Mia smiled, but a flicker of doubt remained. What if this was just a fluke? What if, come morning, the reality of her limits came crashing back down? They headed to a nearby diner, the neon sign buzzing overhead. Inside, they sank into the cozy booths, laughter and stories flowing as freely as the coffee. Mia listened, reveling in the sense of belonging, yet feeling a strange urgency creeping under her skin. "So, what's next for you?" Derek asked, leaning back with a casual confidence that caught her off guard. "What do you mean?" she questioned, brows knitting together. "I mean, you've proven yourself. You've got skills, Mia. What's your next move?" His eyes were bright, almost as if he was a coach cheering her on. The question struck her like a bolt of lightning. Did she have a plan? She had never thought past today, let alone for the future. A million possibilities swirled in her mind, but what if she picked the wrong one? The walls of doubt began to close in once more. I'm not sure. I guess I just want to keep improving," Mia stammered, not wanting to let them see the doubt creeping back in. Derek smiled knowingly. "Improvement isn't just about working harder. It's about taking risks. If you want to thrive in this field, you've got to reach for the next challenge, even if it scares you." The words hung in the air, heavy with truth. The idea of risking failure again sent a shiver down her spine. Yet she felt something. A tingle of excitement mingled with fear. That was the essence of growth, she realized. "And if I fail?" she whispered, though the question was far brighter than the uncertainty behind it. "Then you get up and try again," Derek replied, his gaze unwavering. "Or maybe you discover something incredible about yourself." His words ignited a warmth in Mia, a flicker of bravado battling her fears. I guess that's worth exploring," she murmured. They spent the rest of the night losing themselves in conversation, and Mia could feel barriers melting away. The camaraderie swelled within her, affirming that she wasn't just a delivery girl anymore. She was part of the innovation, the technology, a contributor to something greater. But beneath the thrill of acceptance, a new weight grew. What was the next challenge for her? She knew she couldn't just blend into the background, she had to step forward. What would that look like? Could she handle whatever came her way? The gnawing anxiety gripped her heart again. As they finished their meals, Mia's mind raced. She wanted to seize this moment, to carve out a space that was hers not only within the team but in the field she loved. "Alright, what's the plan for tomorrow?" Lucy asked, her voice bright with excitement. Mia took a deep breath, collecting her thoughts. The warm buzz of companionship surrounded her, but with it came a question that lingered like an unresolved code. Would she take the leap? Would she seek out challenges that pushed her further, or would she succumb to fear and retreat? The diner door swung open, the fragrance of fresh air washing over them. "Tomorrow," she began slowly, her voice gaining strength, "I think I want to start learning more about machine learning." The group fell silent, taken aback by her audacity, and in that silence, she could hear her heart pounding like a drum. She felt different now, ready to face any obstacle that may arise. But did this newfound courage hold? What if the very challenge she sought pushed her further than she anticipated? Would she be stepping into greatness, or would she find herself lost in a maze of her own making? As they stepped back into the night, her thoughts swirling, the question loomed large ahead of her. What transformation awaited her on this new journey? The morning sun peeked through the blinds, casting stripes of light across Mia's bedroom. It was a new day, a fresh start. The air felt charged with possibility. Her phone buzzed, pulling her from a dream about code dancing across a screen. It was Lucy, bright and cheery as ever. "Ready to take on the world?" The text read, followed by a string of motivational emojis. Mia couldn't help but smile. Yet, beneath that smile lay a tangle of nerves. She rolled out of bed, determined to push through the uncertainty weighing on her chest. Coffee brewed softly in the kitchen as she paced, rehearsing what she might say when she entered that tech workshop. The thought of walking into a room full of programmers, people with years of experience, set her heart racing. What if they rejected her? What if they laughed at her ambition? She shook her head, banishing the doubts swirling like a dark cloud. After a quick breakfast, she grabbed her laptop, feeling its weight in her bag like the promise of a new adventure. Arriving at the workshop, she was greeted by the hum of chatter and the clattering of keyboards. The room was filled with faces she didn't recognize, but she could feel the palpable energy of creativity. She took a deep breath and stepped inside, scanning the room. Derek waved her over from a table where a small group gathered. "Hey, you made it," he said, flashing a grin that made her heart flutter with warmth. "We were just about to get started." Taking a seat, she glanced at the whiteboard filled with code snippets and graphs. This was it. The world of machine learning she yearned to explore. As the instructor introduced the topic, Mia jotted down notes fervently, each word lighting up her curiosity, but then, a voice interrupted her flow. A confident guy named Mark, leaning back against the wall, arms crossed. "So, what does a delivery girl know about machine learning anyway? Isn't there a delivery route you should be on?" Laughter rippled through the room. Mia's heart dropped, but she quickly masked her hurt with a smile. Derek leaned over, whispering, "Ignore him. He likes to rattle people." As the other attendees shifted awkwardly, Mia realized this was a defining moment. She could choose to shrink back or rise up. She straightened her back and spoke up despite the tremor in her voice. "Actually, I'm here because I want to learn. No one starts as an expert. We all have to begin somewhere, right?" Mark rolled his eyes, but Mia could see a flicker of surprise in some of the others. Maybe she hadn't won them over yet, but she wasn't backing down. The workshop progressed, and Mia found herself lost in the intricacies of neural networks and algorithms. She felt as if she was piecing together a puzzle, each part fitting snugly into the bigger picture of her dreams. After a coding exercise, she worked up the courage to approach the instructor, asking questions with an eagerness that surprised even herself. By lunchtime, Mia felt a shift in the atmosphere. She caught glimpses of respect and interest from others. Even Mark approached her, face a little softer now. "That was a solid question you asked earlier. Didn't he expect that from someone just starting out?" "You'd be surprised what I can do," she replied lightly, surprising herself with her own confidence. As they ate, the conversation flowed naturally. Mia found herself exchanging thoughts and ideas, sparks of inspiration igniting amongst their discussions. For the first time since stepping into the room, she didn't feel like an imposter. Instead, she was a collaborator, a contributor to the dialogue of innovation. After the break, the workshop delved into hands-on projects. Mia partnered with a woman named Clara, who encouraged Mia to share her thoughts. Together they tackled a challenging coding problem, and as they worked, Mia realized she was actually enjoying the challenge. But as the afternoon dragged on, her phone buzzed in her pocket. A message from Lucy. "You okay? Heard some guys were being jerks." Mia's fingers hovered over her phone. She could tell Lucy everything about Mark's comment. About her insecurities. But she felt something shift inside her, a realization that she had the power to forge her own path, regardless of anyone else's judgments. "Yeah," she replied, heart racing, "I'm better than okay." As the day wound down, Mia felt exhilaration bubbling in her chest. She had gone from the shy delivery girl to someone who had taken bold steps into the world she loved. But one question sparked in her mind, lingering like a whisper: how far could she push herself before hitting the walls of her own fears? Tomorrow would bring its own set of challenges, and she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. The real adventure was just beginning. Mia woke up the next morning with a jolt, the sun's light pouring in like a golden invitation. She felt different, somehow lighter. As she brewed coffee, she replayed yesterday's moments, each smile and nod from her peers flickered in her mind like fireworks. Whatever had been burdensome yesterday felt like an emptier weight now. Today was a new chance to prove to herself that she belonged. Her phone buzzed again, this time with a message from Derek. "Excited for today? Let's crush it." She texted back a quick reply and headed out, anticipation bubbling in her chest. This time, she put extra effort into her outfit: an oversized sweater, colorful leggings, and her favorite sneakers. It wasn't just about comfort, it was her armor. Today, she would step into the arena of code once more, ready to show her worth. Once she walked into the workshop, the energy in the room felt different. The sense of support seemed to wrap around her like a warm quilt. Derek smiled at her from across the table and waved, his eyes glinting with encouragement. "Hey! You ready to dig deeper?" he asked as she took her seat. "More than ever," she replied, her heart racing not from anxiety, but exhilaration. As the workshop began, Mia felt the topic shift toward data analysis, a subject she ambivalently approached the day before. With the instructor detailing a project on data trends, Mia found herself lifted. She raised her hand, eager to participate. What if we analyzed the data based on demographic shifts? That could really provide insight into consumer behavior. The room quieted, all eyes turned to her. A mix of surprise and admiration washed over her classmates. The instructor nodded, impressed. "That's a fantastic point, Mia. Data tells a story, and it sounds like you're ready to explore the chapters." The breakthrough made her pulse race. It felt like she was finally threading her ideas into the fabric of the workshop. The group was divided into smaller teams to tackle real-world scenarios. Mia, now confident in her abilities, gravitated towards a problem involving predictive modeling. Clara joined her again, smiling approvingly. "I believe in you," she said, her voice steady. Together, they dove into the data, brainstorming ways to tackle the problem creatively. As they worked, Mia noticed Mark hover close, his attitude noticeably different. He leaned against the wall, not mocking, but listening. Today, he wore a thoughtful expression, devoid of sarcasm. "Hey, can I join in?" he asked, surprising Mia and Clara. "Sure," Mia responded, trying to keep her tone neutral. As they brainstormed, Mark began to contribute constructive ideas. He even nodded when Mia suggested a fresh approach, giving her a sense of validation that was both unexpected and warm. After hours of hard work, the time came to present the group's findings. Standing at the front of the room, Mia took a deep breath. The room was buzzing with anticipation. Would the group embrace her suggestions? Would Mark's skepticism linger? She launched into the presentation, her passion evident, hands gesturing as she explained their process and projections. The more she spoke, the more alive she felt. The energy transferring between her and the audience flowed more strongly than she had ever anticipated. When she finished, the room erupted into applause. Mark clapped with genuine enthusiasm, and to her surprise, other group members came forward to share their compliments. "Mia, you completely nailed that," one girl said with wide eyes. "I hadn't thought about that angle." But it was Derek's shout of "You're a rock star" that sent butterflies soaring in her stomach. As the workshop wrapped up, the instructor took one last moment to address the group. "Remember, everyone, today's discussion proves that innovation can come from anyone, regardless of their background. It's the ideas that matter." Mia felt a slight tingle of awe wash over her. Was she truly becoming part of this world, being recognized for her contributions rather than her doubts? Just as she began to believe it was all real, her phone chimed again. This time, it was a text from Lucy. "Let us celebrate your success tonight." Her heart soared with excitement at the thought of sharing this experience with her friend. But then, a weight fell on her shoulders once more. What would she say if Lucy asked about Mark? Would she rove back to the shadows of insecurity? "Let us go," she replied, shaking off the uncertainty as she stepped out of the building. The air felt electric, charged with newfound determination. Looking back, she caught a glimpse of Mark talking with Clara, laughter spilling between them. Maybe it wasn't just about overcoming challenges. It was also about understanding one another. With a grin, she turned forward and muttered under her breath, "I've got a lot more to prove." But what challenges awaited her next? The world outside felt vast and intimidating, and Mia knew it was just the beginning. As Mia stepped outside, the sun greeted her like an old friend, casting a warm glow over the bustling street. She felt alive, each pulse of her heart syncing with the vibrant thrum of life around her. Yet beneath the surface of her excitement lingered a twinge of anxiety. How would Lucy react? How would she reconcile the new Mia with the insecurities she used to carry? Derek caught up to her as she walked, his smile contagious. "Amazing job today, Mia. Seriously, your insights were brilliant." "Thanks," she said, warmth spreading through her. "I felt really good up there. Keep that energy for tonight. We all want to hear about your plans for the future." Mia nodded, swallowing hard at the thought of revealing her dreams. What if they were too grand? What if she fell short? But the glimmer of hope that had taken root in her heart urged her to speak. "Maybe I'll try for a position at a tech firm, or even start a project of my own," she said, surprising herself with the confidence in her words. Derek looked impressed. "Awesome. You've got the talent. Just go for it." They exchanged a few more encouraging words before waving goodbye. Mia's stomach fluttered with a mix of confusion and excitement. She hadn't even wrapped her mind around a future yet, and here she was discussing it as if she already had a plan. She headed to her favorite cafe, the shop where she and Lucy had spent countless afternoons filled with laughter and dreams. As she entered, the familiar scent of freshly brewed coffee and sweet pastries enveloped her. "Hey! Over here!" Lucy waved from a corner booth, her smile stretching from ear to ear. Mia's heart swelled with affection. "Mia! You are glowing. Tell me everything." Mia slid into the seat, her excitement spilling over. She recounted the workshop, the applause, all the moments of triumph. Lucy listened, wide-eyed and beaming. But as Mia spoke about Mark's unexpected support, she hesitated, unsure how to frame it. "And I think maybe he's changed a little. I mean he actually listened." Lucy's brow furrowed a bit, concern shadowing her features. "Really? Is it genuine, or is he just trying to save face?" That's what Mia feared. What if it was just a temporary shift? "I don't know, Lucy. I felt it wasn't just an act, but then, what does that even mean for me?" They shared a silence as Mia followed her swirling thoughts. Could she trust him? Did she want to? "Sounds to me like you're feeling lost between two worlds," Lucy said gently. "Finding your place doesn't mean you have to reconcile past feelings." Mia remembered Mark's earlier snarky remarks, the way he constantly put her down. Would that ever truly be behind them? Thoughts about him spiraled in her mind, fighting against the empowerment she felt earlier. Just then, Lucy snapped her fingers, pulling Mia back from her spiraling thoughts. "Okay, how about we secure your place with these new ambitions? Let us research some firms. You know I'm always down to help." The idea lit up Mia's face. "You're right. Let us do it." As they delved into potential career pathways, laughter and nostalgia flowed freely, but the lingering unease about Mark still cast a shadow over Mia's joy. Later, as they strolled out of the cafe, Mia caught a glimpse of her phone again. It buzzed with another message, this time from Mark. Curious, she hesitated to open it, her stomach tightening as she read, "Great job today. I want to talk more about the project. Can we get coffee later?" Mia froze, her heart racing. What did he want? Her mind buzzed, caught in a whirlwind of emotions. Was this another chance for her? Or another opportunity for old wounds to reopen? Could she face him again, with everything she had just started to build? Suddenly, a wave of doubt crashed over her. She wanted to prove herself, but at what cost? What if this was a step backward instead of forward? Mia bit her lip, glancing at Lucy, who raised an eyebrow, clearly sensing the shift. "Go for it. But on your terms," she said, supportive yet firm. What if it all falls apart? Then you'll be stronger for it. Remember what we just talked about? Mia took a deep breath, holding the weight of her choices tightly as hope and fear intertwined once again. Okay, she whispered more to herself than Lucy. I have to find out. But as she prepared to respond, she couldn't shake the feeling that this interaction could either solidify her newfound confidence or threaten to unravel it all. Was this meeting with Mark the next step in her journey, or was it a risk too great to take? Mia slid her phone into her pocket, her fingers trembling slightly as she and Lucy walked down the sunny street. The warmth of the sun felt welcoming, but inside, a storm brewed. What did Mark want? And why now, right when she was beginning to embrace the brighter path ahead? Lucy continued chatting animatedly about future job opportunities. Mia nodded, half listening. She wanted to focus on Lucy's dreams, to share in the excited planning. But the shadow of Mark's message loomed large, uninvited and oppressive. Hey, you okay? Lucy's voice broke through Mia's thoughts, concern etching her features. Mia forced a smile. Yeah, just thinking about Mark's message. Lucy squinted in seriousness. Don't let it mess with your vibe. You're in a much better place now. Mia looked at her friend, the anchor in her sometimes tumultuous ocean of emotions. What if I go and it's another game? I'm so scared of falling back into old patterns. Then this is your chance to break them. Lucy said, her enthusiasm unwavering. You're stronger now, Mia. You'll know how to handle him if he tries anything funny. Mia drew in a breath, her heart pounding. Could she really face him? Part of her wanted to prove she had moved on. But another part nagged at her, whispering doubt, fear, and uncertainty. By the time they reached Lucy's apartment, her nerves had knotted into a ball in her stomach. Let me know what you decide, Lucy encouraged, pulling Mia into a quick hug. I believe in you. With a wave, Lucy disappeared inside, leaving Mia alone on the steps. She took a moment, breathing in the fresh air. Closing her eyes, she tried to remember that feeling of accomplishment from earlier in the day, the thrill of sharing her ambitions. Yet now it felt more like a distant memory, overshadowed by Mark's looming presence. She pulled out her phone again, staring at Mark's message. Tiny droplets of sweat formed along her brow. This wasn't just a coffee catch-up, it felt monumental. What was she really seeking? Closure? A fresh start? Or maybe simply the courage to take control of her story? Typing her response was harder than she'd anticipated. Each letter felt heavy under the weight of her doubts. Sure, what time? She finally wrote, feeling an uneasy mixture of dread and determination. The reply came almost instantly. How about 3? I know a place near the park. Sounds good. She hit send, her heart racing as she felt the ground shift beneath her. It was done. But was it right? Mia took a long walk, the comfort of familiar streets helping to calm the storm within. She passed the park, a peaceful place where she had shared laughter, ideas, and dreams. It was a reminder of who she was and who she wanted to be. As she strolled along the path, a little girl on a swing caught her eye, her laughter infectious. Mia smiled, the lightness of childhood innocence filling her heart. She wished she could dive back into that carefree spirit, where fears were non-existent and every day felt promising. Yet, she was an adult now, facing adult challenges. At 2:45, she found herself pacing outside the cafe. The place seemed alive, buzzing with chatter, clinking cups, and rich aromas. Mia took a deep breath, steadying herself. If he brought negativity, she had the power to walk away. This was her moment to reclaim her heart and mind. As she entered the cafe, her heart thudded in her chest. She scanned the room, and there he was, sitting at a table in the corner, coffee steaming between his hands. Just the sight of him sparked a mix of emotions: fear, resentment, and an undeniable curiosity. this meeting was about so much more than coffee. Was she ready to confront her past? With each step toward him, her resolve hardened. She might be stepping back into old territory, but Mia would define the conversation this time. Would she come out stronger, or was this a step back into vulnerability? And as she approached him, uncertainty hung in the air, thick and tangible. What awaited her in that little cafe? Reconciliation or regret? Mia hesitated for just a heartbeat as she approached Mark's table. His eyes lit up when he saw her, but mixed with his smile was an eerie reminder of who he'd once been. As she sat down, the warmth of the cafe clashed with the chill of the weighty memories between them. "Thanks for meeting me," he said, his voice dripping with a tone she barely recognized. "I wanted to say that I appreciate how you handled things yesterday. You pulled off quite the presentation." "Thanks," she replied, steeling herself against the memories of his snide comments. This meeting felt pivotal, hovering on the edge of forgiveness or certainly something close to it. "How did you end up here?" Mark shifted slightly in his seat, fidgeting as he stirred his coffee. "Honestly, I was surprised by how things turned around. Your ideas were outside the box." He lifted his gaze to meet hers. "I've never seen you back down. It's inspiring." Her heart raced. Was he serious? The boy who scoffed at her ambitions sat here, acknowledging her worth. "I've learned a lot," she replied, unable to shake the two worlds they hailed from his marked by privilege, hers forged in struggle. "And I don't just want to survive in tech. I want to thrive." Something flickered across Mark's face. Was it guilt? "I've been a jerk," he said, his voice lowering. "I just didn't see it. I didn't see you." The confession felt like a chisel breaking down a wall she didn't know existed between them. Mia took a breath. "I appreciate that you're recognizing it now. But that doesn't erase the past." Mark nodded solemnly. "I know. I regret a lot of things." He paused, desperately searching for words that might build a bridge. "Maybe I can help you with your next project? I know my reputation doesn't mean much to you right now, but I swear I want to change. Especially after seeing what you can do." A hesitant flicker of hope ignited inside her. Helping each other could rewrite the very narrative that had driven a wedge between them, yet she felt the old wounds surge anew. Could she trust him? "Mia, listen." He leaned forward, sincerity edging into his voice. "I didn't understand your struggles. I've had my own, but they aren't comparable. Whatever you'll face in this field, you don't have to face alone. I can help you navigate the challenges without judgment. That's the least I can do." Mark's face was earnest, and for the first time, he truly seemed like a peer instead of an adversary. The thought pushed through her walls. "All right," Mia said quietly, her heart brimming with caution and curiosity. "Let us try it. But I need you to know, I won't tolerate the old you. I'm not that girl anymore. I want to stand on my own." "Deal," he replied, relief washing over him. "I genuinely want to support you." They navigated the delicate waters of conversation, exchanging visions and aspirations for their work as if they were breaking new ground. As minutes turned into hours, a synergy developed between them, chipping away at the remnants of their pasts. What started as guarded exchanges blossomed into mutual respect. When it was time to leave, Mia felt a sense of clarity. She was stepping forward, with or without Mark's help. Outside, the sun dipped low, painting the sky in warm strokes of orange and gold. As they walked side by side, Mia glanced toward him. "So, what now? Let us set up a meeting with the group. I can rally some support for a project you're passionate about." "Really?" The brightness of hope flickered inside her. "That would be incredible." He smiled genuinely, as if they had moved past the past. "Let us make this happen together." As expectations mingled with reality, Mia absorbed the moment. Maybe this wasn't just about facing down old fear, maybe it was about building something stronger, something new. From the charged energy of possibilities blooming before her, she couldn't help but feel that she had risen from the shadows into a vibrant world of connection and ambition. Days transformed into weeks as they collaborated, ideas sparking like fireworks, fizzling fears dissipating into the air. Mia felt invigorated, shedding skin. Like a snake, evolving anew in the vibrant rhythms of the tech community. It was an exhilarating whirlwind, building presentations and brainstorming with teams that echoed her ideas where her voice carried weight, where her contributions mattered. Each success fanned the flames of her confidence, each challenge only served to strengthen her, but it didn't end there. After one late-night session, as they packed up to leave, Mark turned to her, a newfound seriousness in his demeanor. "You know, you can lead project discussions in the next meeting. It's your time to shine. Are you sure I'm ready?" Doubt surged in her mind again. "More than ready. You deserve to take the lead. Don't forget that." Those words empowered her to claim that moment. The day of the presentation arrived, and as she stood in front of her peers, their faces curious yet encouraging, she drew a deep breath. This was the culmination of her journey, pain and triumph merging into a clear vision. Mia spoke with passion and clarity, pouring her heart into the project they had crafted together. The buzz in the room quickened, each nod and smile fueled her fire. As the room erupted in applause at the conclusion, a flood of warmth washed over her. "Outstanding, Mia!" Derek exclaimed, beaming. The recognition felt intoxicatingly real. "Mark!" she called, tapping his shoulder, drawing attention towards the transformation they had undergone not just as individuals but as teammates figuring it out in real time. "I couldn't have done this without you." As they embraced the moment, Mia found herself standing firmly on a foundation of dreams no longer dimmed by fear, a place she never thought possible. And in that moment, she finally understood, change is not always immediate or noticeable. Sometimes, it comes in waves, crashing and receding, reshaping the landscape of who she was. Emerging victorious from the past, Mia stood ready to conquer whatever the future held, no longer just a delivery girl but an architect of her destiny. In that vast new horizon, she smiled, knowing she was not only capable of moving mountains but now could inspire others to scale them too. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Comment on your reactions and feelings about the ending, let us know what you think. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to stand together and celebrate each other's journeys. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.